getting closer to the top 5, and at number 7 I have chosen Red Dead Redemption. And now, I was never really a hardcore fan of the GTA series, or a big fan of Rockstar for that matter. And then when Red Dead Redemption came out, all of that changed. I was blown away by Red Dead Redemption, just because of how just perfect it was. I mean, not to say perfect as in 100%, put it top of my game pile. No, I mean perfect as in it was perfect for them. What Rockstar achieved was perfect for them, not perfect in my books of all of the games, just perfect as in they made a perfect game. And so Red Dead Redemption is, if you don't know, and I don't know why you don't know this, but it's a gigantic open world, third person western, pretty much, by Rockstar, of course, and you know, it borrows many mechanics, including the physics of GTA 4, and it was a really fun game. It was very dark. It was incredibly dark. I mean, I think darker than most of what GTA has done in the past and now present. And because you had stuff like skinning animals and all these sort of things, hunting. You had all this sort of dark humour and all these sort of just dark things, really. I can't really remember them all because it was such a big game, but Red Dead Redemption really spoke out to me with its story, and it was one of those, well, it speaks for itself. It was a redemption story. I mean, it's in the title, Red Dead Redemption. Think about it, people. But the story really spoke out to me because of this redemption story, because of the guy you were playing as wasn't a saint. I mean, sometimes in games the guy you play as is the hero, whereas, you know, previously I spoke about Hitman, and, you know, Agent 47 isn't really a saint, is he? He kills people for a living, and then, you know, he can be caring and stuff like that. And it was the same. It's the same with John Marston, the protagonist of Red Dead Redemption. You know, he's not a saint, he's not perfect, but, you know, what he's doing for his family. So he's, you know, trying to care for someone rather than just be this outlaw. And so pretty much the start of the game is you're playing as John Marston, and you are tasked by the, I'm going to say, is it the FBI or something? It's the feds or something. It's the feds, and you're tasked by them to hunt down your old teammates, because John Marston was part of a gang back in the day, and that's how he met his wife. And, you know, then all this stuff happened, and now he has to go around and hunt them. And the story just, you know, it would be told from all these different parts. I mean, the story, it wouldn't be just, you know, all about this redemption story. It would branch off into all of these little mini stories, which all still played a part in the main story. Like, you meet all these different characters, like Irish and the doctor guy. I really can't remember his name. There was two doctor guys as well. There was a guy who sold all those tonics, the travelling guy, and then you had the doctor guy who worked in the city, I think. I think it was New York, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. And it can't be New York. It's not New York, I don't think. But it was really good in that aspect, that all of these branching stories weren't just, you know, their single story, like you do the storyline and done. They all sort of connected in with each other, so there'd be a point where, you know, all of these characters would come together to help someone in a mission. And it really worked really well. The characters were really good. I enjoyed them thoroughly, and especially Irish. Irish was quite funny. Oh, and that crazy dude who dug up corpses, he was funny. He was quite a funny character. And then John Marston himself had, you know, the typical, I'm not going to say hero, but the typical protagonist quips when he did something cool or whatever. and it was just a really fun story, and I got really into it, and especially when it came to the ending. And if anyone out there knows of the ending I'm talking about, sob, sob, sob. But apart from all of that, all the story aside, the story was great. It was top notch, and it was, you know, Rockstar storytelling at its best. But onto the gameplay, you could, if you've played GTA 4, you'd notice a lot of it going into Red Dead Redemption. I mean, that's what Rockstar do with their games, pretty much, is just the same sort of physics and everything, because they're pretty good physics anyway. And especially the ragdoll physics, they were hilarious. God, how funny were they? If you like blew someone up, they'd go flying, doing several twirls in the air. It was hilarious. And people stumbling when you shot them, and the body of an enemy would actually react to where they got shot. So if you shot them in the shoulder, their shoulder would jerk backwards, or if you shot them in the head would like jerk backwards. And if you shot them in the leg, they would sort of stumble on that leg. And it was really cool the way the physics, you know, worked with everything around in the world, and so it was really fluid, and it was really cool to see all these animations really work with the physics. But moving on to other parts of the gameplay, I enjoyed the dead eye that they included. This was kind of like a slow down type of thing, where it was like slow-mo. So pretty much you could slow down time, you could and it wasn't just a slow down time you have to aim and shoot yourself. It was a slow down time and target people. So you could slow down time, target about 5 people, and once the slowdown had, you know, finished, John would then proceed to shoot all 5 of those people in sequence. And so that was pretty fun to see, you know, from a cinematic point of view, to see all these guys just get blown away in a matter of seconds. So it, you know, it really stuck to that sort of Western feel, and it pretty much felt like a Western. I think I've not watched many Westerns in my time, because, you know, most Westerns nowadays are really, really old, and they're from like the 50s and stuff like that. But, you know, a member of my family is really into them, so, and I've watched a few with him, and so I could feel this, you know, Western sense. I could feel like I was in the Wild West, and all of these things were happening. And, you know, you'd go into like these bars, you'd hear the piano guy playing, you'd see all the prostitutes walking about, you could order a drink and stuff. There'd be bar brawls and people playing poker and stuff. It was just really great. And that's another thing. The whole West, the whole wilderness and area around the place, the level design was brilliant. The map and just the entire location, everything looked great. The visuals looked great. If you could be riding your horse and you could see the sun setting or the sun rising, and it'd just be amazing to see. And all these different places in the map, it'd just be amazing to see them. It was really well done, and I really enjoyed looking at all these different places like canyons, and then moving into forest areas, and then moving into sort of little town areas, and then it was great. And it also had the Mexico part. The Mexico part looked beautiful as well. I don't know what else to say, really. Most of the gameplay was good. The shooting was pretty standard for a Rockstar game. You know, it was the cover-based pop-out shoot stuff. It had mini-games. You could do mini-games like play poker, Five-Finger Fillet, I think it's called. Don't kill me of the pronunciation. You know, the knife thing where you grab a knife and start stabbing it in between your fingers really fast. And then you had like horseshoe games and all this sort of stuff, racing on horses and in carts and stuff. They really, basically, it was GTA 4 in the Wild West, but improved upon by miles. And it was just a really fun game with a very fun and engrossing story, which was heartfelt towards the end. And the DLC was good as well, I'll point that out. The Undead Nightmare DLC was extremely fun. And that's pretty much it for Red Dead Redemption. It is at number 7 on this list.
This is what life in the West was like. This is Red Dead Redemption.